and now we have me and Devon. I'm joined by my dear friend Dedan, who has her own YouTube channel, Dedan O. Please check her out. The link will be in the description box. She's amazing. As you can see, you know, we got our hair on point today. So as you've definitely seen on my LinkedIn, my Instagram, my Facebook, I said I was going to come and do a short YouTube series about networking, finding a mentor, how to get yourself into the room, and it would be best to kick that all off with what really got people interested in what I'm doing. Like when I posted this on LinkedIn, right now it's at 10,600 people have viewed my post.
10,000?
10,000 people have viewed my post
wow.
about leaving J.P.Morgan. And I was only there for 7 days, so... Yeah, so Dedan's here to be like a facilitator. She's like your voice, so she's gonna ask all the questions that you really want to ask because, yeah, she asks some very invasive questions most of the time, so... She's just gonna...
So before we talk about how you left J.P.Morgan, why don't we get into how you got the job in the first place?
I got the 10-week summer internship at J.P.Morgan.
Okay.
I got offered the graduate job at the end of the 10 weeks.
So after that, when did you realise that J.P.Morgan wasn't for you anymore?
I think it had been an ongoing thing because, you know, God is always just sowing seeds into your life.
Always.
And you just don't know it until you're there, until you've actually sought him with all of your heart, and then you find him. So before that, like I said, I was in the J.P.Morgan office in Bournemouth. So already that was an issue for me, and I was trying every avenue possible to get to London. Like, these lot know I was trying, and I was just like, no, it's God's will, trust me, I'll be in London. And then I think the craziest time was when I had got accommodation with my friends in Southampton. So I said I was going to drive to Bournemouth, and then I remember, I don't know if I told you in summer, that like I cancelled my contract, like I gave it to someone else, so I didn't have anywhere to live. Like I had basically like decided I'm not gonna live in a house because I actually hate student housing. Like it just makes me a bit itchy. So I was just like, nah, like I'm not gonna live in a house anymore. So people were like, so where are you gonna live when you start working in Bournemouth? And I was just like, in my mind I was like, I'm not going back to Bournemouth, but in my mind it was that I'm not going to Bournemouth, I'm going to be in the London office. I was like, it's in God's will, it's in God's will. Like, I'm just going to keep going, it's in His will, it's in His will. So then I had gone to Ghana for 6 weeks, and while I was there, I was working so hard. When I mean I was at every networking event, I think people were starting to be like, but who is she? Why is she always here? I was muscling my way into every situation that you could think of, like events that you had to pay for, events that were free, events that weren't even like really clearly advertised. I found all of them and I was at all of them. And if you keep watching through the rest of the series, like I'll let you know how I did it, and like I said, how you can do the same, especially for all my peeps coming to Ghana this Christmas. Ooh. So yeah, so after that, like working so hard, a pivotal point for me, I had an internship at a place called Social Ghana. Big up Social Ghana, Young Fo and the whole team. That was the best experience ever. Like, did you know you could have a job and actually like it? Like, did you know you can actually enjoy the work you're doing, enjoy the people you're around, enjoy the working culture, atmosphere, everything. So then when I got back to London, and obviously I didn't time it properly and all my friends were shouting at me, I landed September the 12th. I started working in J.P.Morgan in Bournemouth September the 13th.
Made no sense.
So I was tired. I even got to Bournemouth that night at like midnight or something to now wake up at 7 to go to work the next day. So I was so tired, and obviously I'd come from a different environment, and then I got there, and this is what I was saying about God dropping these seeds continuously, because when I got there, I was just like, I said, hey, I'm the only black person here. I said, what the heck is going on?
And you feel like that was a seed?
So the reason why I really felt like it was a seed is because God knows me. Like, I'm the one who made a charity when I was 19 years old because I said, hey, how can so many people not know what sickle cell is? And then it made me want to make a change. Like, I am a social change person, that's what I do. So when I got there and I was the only black person there, I was just like, this makes me very uncomfortable. So me and my big mouth as well, I strolled over to the recruiter and I said, I noticed I was the only black person here.
You're lying.
I know.
You did not tell me that.
I was like, I know there's a really black person here. I said, did other people apply and they just dropped out, or what happened? And then she just said it's not usually like this. But then one thing that, like, I don't know, sue me if you want. She said, we're really just focusing on the best applicants. And then I was just thinking, like, what does that really have to do with what I just asked you? Then on the second day, we got into work a bit early. So I was with my friends I'd made on the summer internship, and I was staying with them at one of my friends' family house. Shout out Alex. And I was just in the canteen, and on my life, I was just sitting there thinking, why am I here? I was literally like, what am I doing here? And then I called my boyfriend, and he didn't pick up his phone. Then I went back to the desk, and I was like, okay, whatever. Then he called me back, and I went to the toilet and I picked up, and I was like, it's a really good thing that you didn't pick up before, because I was going to tell you that I want to leave. And he was like, if you don't want to be there, no one's forcing you to be there. And I was just like, whoa, people are allowing me to make grown-up choices. Then I went through the whole day was fine, and then I called this girl. So she
didn't call me. I called you to ask you how your first day went.
You need to calm down.
Don't play.
Okay, so she called me. Good thing that you didn't reply. I was like, I went through this whole thing where I felt like I wanted to leave JP, but now I'm over that. And then you interjected. Before I had the chance to say, now I'm over that, she interjected and said, to be honest, I don't know why you're there. And I was like, dun dun dun. What do you mean,
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, she was just like, I don't know why you're there. She was like, you have a strong vision, you know what you want to do, and a lot of people believe in what you're doing. So it's like, why are you there? And these are two people who know me so well, and they're telling me they're like, seriously, who's forcing you to be there apart from you? And that's when I decided that when I went to London, so we had 2 weeks of training in London from the Bournemouth office. Everyone went to London, and I was in this apartment in Canary Wharf, and I decided for that week I was going to fast and pray about what I wanted to do. And this is why you need friends in your life that will hold you accountable for your faith as well, hold you so accountable. Because I remember I texted you, Julianne, and I literally texted about 7 of my friends, and I told them guys, I'm thinking about leaving J.P.Morgan. I'm not really sure, can you guys pray for me? And I was like, on Friday, can you guys fast and pray with me? So I was like, I'm fasting for the whole week, but on Friday, can you guys fast and pray with me? And pray for your own futures as well. We've all graduated from university, we're doing different things. We're gonna take this time to fast and pray and just commit everything to God. And can you imagine being able to literally just call on the sisterhood and be like, guys, it's time to fast, it's time to pray. We've got real life decisions that we're trying to make out here. And everyone was just like, cool, yeah, we're there, it's cool.
When you decided that you wanted to leave, how did you actually go about leaving the company?
So, like I said, I started on the Wednesday, and on the Friday I met with the HR woman. It was like, I said I don't, oh my gosh. I said I don't think, I said I don't think this is for me. And then she was like, it's only been 2 days. You should go home and talk to your parents, they know you the best, and see what they say. And then that was even the weird one. And I remember when I was telling you, I was very scared that I would disappoint my parents. Yeah. And then she was like, how could your parents be disappointed? Look how much you've achieved at such a young age. And I was just like, So I went home, I said, Mum, Dad, I've got something to tell you, blah, blah, blah. Told them I want to leave JP. They were like, maybe stay for 6 months. Okay, you know what? I'm lying. I told them, and they said, okay. And then I was literally like, do you not have anything to say? Say something, say anything, please. My dad was like, anything I tell you, it's not going to make you happy. And then if I have an unhappy child, is that going to make me happy? No. So it was just do what you want to do. He said, I can tell you that you should try and stay for 6 months, earn some money. You should try and stay for a bit longer. Maybe you can get moved to London. But it's do what you want to do. Not just saying the work was too hard, I was bored, so I left. I just want to come home and sleep. That's not what I'm saying, and they know that's not what I'm saying. So yeah, my parents were quite supportive. So then a week later, on Wednesday, I think we were having Wednesday social, and then the HR woman again came up to me and she was like, so what's going on? And I was just like, oh yeah, I definitely don't think it's for me. And then that Thursday was my last day.
Be bold, you know, leaving J.P.Morgan to focus on Akua Hazel, but not everyone has that leap of faith, or some people have other commitments.
Yeah.
So for the people who don't have financial stability, what would you say to them? Like, what would be your advice to them?
Yeah. So obviously one of the things that made it like a little bit easier is that obviously I don't have any financial commitments, I don't have any kids, I don't have rent to pay. So people saying this as well, like, you're inspiring us, like we want to leave our jobs as well. One thing I definitely want to really put out there is my story is not your story. Like, my testimony cannot be your testimony. I took this leap of faith, but it's definitely been years in the making, and I didn't realize it until it happened. I didn't realize that this is something that's actually been years in the making, since even before, like, all of these times when I was probably running for school council, running for student rep, all of these things that I was doing, like, this is this overnight kind of success thing. When they say it takes like 6 to 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about doing it, firstly I would say pray. And if you aren't a religious person, then like I would say you can take time for self-meditation, self-reflection, to really think about the kind of person you are, the kind of things that you are trying to do in life, and how what you are currently doing will lead there. Because people did keep telling me, oh, but it's a great opportunity to network, staying at that company, it's a great opportunity to meet people. But like I said, I went to Ghana for 6 weeks, just being myself, going around to different events, and even when I came to the UK again, still a networking event. I met so many people and grew my network like so quickly just by being me. So it's like, how much more are you telling me that being in this company would do that? Like, I'm sure I would meet some big and influential people, but like, at what cost? Every single time I'm meeting these people to be like, I have this idea, my idea wouldn't have grown any further, because all I would be doing is doing someone else's work. And I think sometimes people are very hard on people. Like, you can work a 9-to-5 job and then go home and do what you love after.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be like, you're not tired, you're uninspired. You could actually be tired. Like, life is hard, you know. Like, can you imagine? And people, especially if you're in London, you're waking up early to that morning commute, coming back after being on a hot tube to go home, and now saying you're doing your side hustle. So for me, when people are like, it's so inspirational that you've left your job, I think it's very inspirational for people who can do that 9-to-5 and still do their side hustle at home. Like, that takes a lot of strength to actually be able to do that. Like, you are fully utilizing the 24 hours that God has given us in a day. So as much as, yeah, my story might be inspirational to you, your story can be inspirational to someone else. So don't do anything based on what someone else is doing.
I'll ask you actually if you feel as though if you were in the London office it would have been different.
100%. I know so much. If I was in the London office, I just would have firmed it.
Definitely.
I literally would have just been like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I got what I wanted. It would have been like, I got what I wanted. I wanted to move to London, so I got it. So then I would have been thinking to myself, like, this was God's plan, because I said he'd move me to London. So then when it was like, I finally got down to the wire and I was still in Bournemouth, I was like, God, like, why? How am I still here? And then I knew, like, if he hadn't, even currently Akua Hazel's business plan, the things that we're focusing on, the things that we are doing, are all so heavily based on my brief experience in the corporate world. And it was based on my experience from being in Bournemouth. And if I hadn't had that experience, like, this wouldn't have existed. So yeah, you just have to trust in God, man. Gotta trust him.
I think I can speak for all of us, and I can say that Gillian's story is so inspirational to be. It just makes you think, especially being young. You don't need to force yourself into anything, and if you do have a dream, just pursue it, because most of the time, you know, God will speak to you and he won't speak to other people the same way God spoke to Joseph and told him the dreams, and he tried to tell the people around him and they didn't want to believe him, but those dreams ended up coming to pass, you know. Always share your testimonies, always.
Thank you and goodbye. We'll see you in the next. I will see you next week.
We will see you next week. Bye. So, is it to the camera or is it to me?
No, I don't. Okay, sorry.
Because I'm just thinking, like, is it between us? Like,
okay,
because then why am I here? Let me just put that on silence.
to the locked in channel. I have the locked in channel, that was funny. No.